What's up, A&T gang? So today we are back with another video. Today it's gonna get a little bit deep, not too deep, but we're gonna basically take y'all into our, give y'all an inside scoop of our lives, what's been going on for the past year. We can't give y'all too much because it's some stuff that's coming out within the next week or two where you guys will be able to know what's exactly been going on. But basically we just want to dive into our health. As we know, we're going through a very, very, very serious pandemic right now, COVID-19. So we'll actually take you guys back to, what was it, February?
It was actually around this time last year. It was actually like February, a little after Valentine's Day last year though.
So that was 2020. Okay, yeah, 2020. February 2020, we had went down to Disney World, and we were going on a vacation, try to get away because I had, surgery. So we was just trying to, get some fresh air, have fun, go on a little date here and there. So we were actually there for 2 or 3 days. Starting off, we were actually in line for a ride. Not even thinking about it, there was a guy, this is so random, a guy, coughed in my face. That's rude, but
he coughed like we were jam-packed, waiting to get on a ride. So when it's really congested in a place and it's just no room, no wiggle room, it's like you right next to each other and the guy coughed. And although we're close, you still have to cover your mouth. He didn't cover his mouth at all. It was just
it's not funny, but that's how
that's literally how it was. And we what
the heck? Yeah, so we wasn't even thinking about it. But later on that night, that same day, we were actually out to eat, and I started, having this bad cough. I couldn't even sit at the table.
Cough.
Yeah, it got so bad. She was like, "Babe, why don't you just go out and sit in the car? Because you can't be in a restaurant coughing like that." It was an uncontrollable cough where I couldn't even,
hold it in.
I couldn't hold it in at all. It was so bad. So I went out to the car. She packed up all the food and stuff, and we went back to the room. And we were just trying to, take it one step at a time. But I had got so sick, we actually had to take, was it that night where I went to the hospital, or that next day?
Yeah, it was the next day, because that night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like, what the hell? I know I ain't peeing on myself. I'm just playing. But it was literally Asia had the most horrible sweats ever. It was basically seriously, it seemed like it was 2 gallons of water just poured on the bed. That's how much sweat. It was profusely, over the amount of what anybody should just be sweating out. I'm seriously telling you, come on, for real.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I basically, I had sweats and chills and body aches. So we went to the hospital that following day, and back then there was no COVID test.
Yeah, they weren't even testing for COVID.
They weren't even testing for COVID. Obviously, we knew COVID had just, actually came to this country from China. So it had just came here. So we knew nothing about COVID. We knew it was there, but not a lot of doctors knew about it. So we went to the doctor. They tested me for the flu. I tested positive for flu type A. So we were actually scheduled to go home either that following day or a few days after. So we had to prolong our stay, basically. And she had to go to the store, get me a whole bunch of vitamins, vitamin C, soup, Sprite, all that type of stuff, because I couldn't even take care of myself. And it had got so bad to the point where we just had to stay in the bed and extend the room for another 4 or 5 days because I was that sick. But turns out you ended up getting sick right after that. And hers was different. My symptoms were body aches, sweats, chills.
Before I got sick, so we were treating the sickness as if it was just regular flu, because we said, we didn't know anything about COVID. So we got back to Atlanta because we drove to Florida. It was a 6-hour drive. So when Asia was able to feel better to get in the car to last that long, we got back here, and it just seemed for at least 6 weeks it was back and forth, like getting better and then not better at all, like
Right.
seemed like it was hitting her 10 times harder. So like eventually when she did get better and she was consistently better, it was probably like she was better for like a week at least. And so the very next day, that was one time, that's when we actually slept back in the bed together. The very next day, I started feeling horrible. And I woke up basically not being able to breathe. Like I had different symptoms from what she had, but it was still like the same sickness. You know, everybody's body is different. And so that's when I was like, okay, something is wrong, because I like literally couldn't breathe. My chest was so like it was so heavy, like
yeah.
I couldn't breathe in at all. I was just like so scared. Yeah, we went to the hospital. They still wasn't testing for COVID. They weren't even like suggesting that's what it could be. It wasn't even brought up. It wasn't thought of. So
they said you had an upper respiratory
they told me I
infection.
had an upper respiratory infection.
Like they tested you for the flu, they tested you for bronchitis and all that stuff. You had none of that, so
yeah.
You couldn't even make it from literally the couch to the kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
She couldn't even make it.
I couldn't make
2 steps.
From the couch, like literally 2 steps. I was over with. Like I ran like a whole marathon. Like I'm out of breath. Like
Crazy.
Literally, it just got to a point where it's like you can't do nothing else but pray, because we actually, I'll take it back. When we were at the hospital with us telling them that I basically couldn't breathe, they did put me on the ventilator, the little breathing machine. When I was on the breathing machine, it felt like heavenly amazing. As soon as I got off the breathing machine, they discharged us. When we got to the parking lot outside of the hospital, we didn't even get into the car yet. It seemed like that stuff built up 1,000,000 times worse. And I'm just now back at square one, not being able to breathe. I'm like, what is this? Like it really makes you miserable. Like you don't know what to do. You go to the hospital, they can't help you, especially when they can't help you and then they tell you something that you have a thought of like, it's not that. It makes you so scared and frustrated. So, you know, we just basically came back home. I really didn't get much sleep because I was scared that I was gonna pass away in my sleep from me not being able to breathe. So I didn't even really sleep much. My sickness lasted for about 2 weeks probably.
Yeah, about 2 weeks. Yeah.
I think mine lasted for about 2 weeks, and then Asia's gonna pick back up on the story. But before she does, how I knew that I had COVID was because maybe less than a month later, I saw a video on Facebook, and that's when, after we got sick and everything, that's when a whole lot of like, I'm not saying that we spread COVID.
Nah, we ain't
but
doing that.
I'm just saying, like, after we had it, then everybody started getting it, and people were making videos and stuff, and we were like, oh my gosh, the girl, she literally explained down to a T everything, because she got tested for it, and basically it was, obviously she had COVID, so she was trying to help people, let them know what you can do if you were to catch it, like little home remedies, let you know the symptoms and all of that. Everything that she explained down to a T is exactly what I had. I was like, oh my God, I had COVID. Like if I had known that I had COVID when it was like super in the middle, in the beginning of the pandemic, I would have lost it. Like clearly you see I'm already extra. I would have been like on the floor like
I got COVID.
Seriously. So yeah, so that's how we caught it originally, from Florida. And so then boom, Asia can pick back up.
Okay, sorry y'all, we had to fix the camera. But so basically, yeah, that's what took place between February and March of 2020. So then fast forwarding to June, obviously we know COVID got worse throughout the world, throughout the country and stuff like that. So to the gym, because I was trying to get prepared to play for the upcoming season of 2020. And obviously you guys know, like, I was coming off of a surgery on both hips, so I was really trying to get after. So I was going to rehab for my hip PT, and then I was going to the gym to lift weights. And I'm not 100% sure exactly where I caught COVID from, but you have your assumptions. So basically, starting with like early June, like the first week of June, it was a Friday. Basically, the same thing happened Friday night. I had sweats and chills out of nowhere. Like I was shaking like I was in an ice tub. So it was just pretty crazy. Like, and it felt good in here. Like we had the heat on. Well, no, we didn't have the heat on because it wasn't too cold outside. But it was a steady temperature in here. And so basically, like long story short, I had symptoms like crazy, like headache, confusion, all that type of stuff. Like you name it. So that Sunday, she took me to the hospital, to the doctor, and they tested me for COVID, and I tested positive for COVID.
We were shocked too. We was like, positive.
I remember when I got, I was like, bet.
We were in the
tested
car.
Positive for COVID.
We were in the car, and she read her test results, and we were like,
I didn't know what to
whoa.
do because I remember when she first told me, hey, like COVID, the first case of COVID came here. It was like maybe April. And I was like, babe, we're perfectly fine. Nothing's going to happen. We're just going to stay safe and do what we can to not catch it.
No, the first case of COVID came way before April because people was sick in like November.
Well, when it was reported,
reported
when you first, read that. So we were like, what the heck? But basically, like, long story short, it was just like like how she had shortness of breath. I had shortness of breath, but like mine wasn't like.
Asia had more like lung pain, extreme chronic lung pain.
Yeah.
Asia had extreme like dizziness, headaches, not any type of appetite. She kept getting very like confused.
Yeah.
She had no energy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like it got to a point where like she was damn near like crawling, honestly. It was just no way for her to just be able to stand up. Like she was losing a lot of weight because she couldn't eat at all. There was no appetite involved. At the most, at a certain point, her favorite meal was literally watermelon and salt. Like really down in liquids wasn't her best thing. Maybe ginger ale or Sprite, but we were drinking a lot of Powerade too. We kind of just took precaution into being able to know what was going on. So we were kind of trying to take like sea moss, what's this stuff called?
Black seed oil.
Yeah,
black seed oil.
Black seed oil. We even went to, what's the lady's name?
Miss Cindy.
Oh my gosh, we went to Miss Cindy's shop. Like
we was trying to get me healed as soon as possible, but safely, because like this COVID, you can't play with it. And she was doing, I'm thankful for her because she was doing everything in her willpower to make sure that I try to get back on the right track. But COVID really knocked me off my feet. That was back in June. It took me about a good 3 months to actually get out the bed and start, being able to do small things such as like see my family or go get some food or go to the store.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Tell them like you were having heart palpitations too. Like,
oh yeah, so
that shit will literally make you feel like if you have a extreme like enough case, that COVID will make you feel like
you're dying.
You're having heart palpitations, like your heart is like beating regular and then like this boom, and then it's like 2 hours before it beat again. Because like sometimes when it was happening to me, I'm like hitting my chest to make sure like am I breathing? Like
sure.
That's how it make you feel,
sure.
Even in your sleep. It's not just having anxiety, it's that when you feel like you're just trying to go through the pain and be okay, you're just laying there, you could be watching TV, you could be asleep, you could be on your phone, it randomly happens. It's just like, whoa, like I thought I was just about to pass away. I don't even mean to be extra. Like it really makes you feel like that. It's so scary.
Yeah, that's exactly how COVID like makes you feel. So I remember I was sick from like June. I was really, really, really sick in the bed from June until about mid-August, end of August. So I started to do a little bit more, and then I got sick again end of September. So like basically the same thing happened again.
Not only sick with COVID, you was sick with. What else? You had two at once.
Yeah, that was in July though. I was sick with COVID and I had bronchitis in July. So the day I actually, announced that I wouldn't be playing in the 2020 season That's the same day I had to go to the hospital because I was having severe lung pain. I was spitting up blood. It was all type of
like
stuff.
stabbing.
It felt like somebody had like a big butcher knife and was stabbing my lungs consistently, like taking in and out and in and out. So that same day, I forgot to talk about that. And then September hit.
Wait, you had flu and you had COVID when we were
in February, yeah.
Yeah, in February.
So basically, we forgot to say that. But I had the flu and COVID at the same time. And she got
sickle cell.
And I got sickle cell and asthma, which plays a big role. If you guys don't know, that plays a big role into health. That basically kills your high risk.
Thank you.
It basically kills your immune system. So it makes it very weak. And that's what makes you high risk, because the average case for somebody, they could have like body aches, chills, sweats, whatever it is. And then for me, it takes me longer to get healthy because I have those two things. And that's, we're not exactly sure as to why, I had got sick again end of September, but I had went to the doctor and got tested. And I tested negative for COVID, but I had all of the symptoms for COVID once again. So I'm very thankful for like my team and my circle to, put me in contact with such great doctors who specialize in cases like mine as to why I'm still having symptoms months out after having COVID and not testing positive. So, fast forward today.
Well, that's considered, what Asia has is like a 10% chance that you can even get that, and it's long timers.
Yeah, long haulers.
And that's what, long haulers.
Long haulers. And it's only, as far as we know, that's been recorded, it's only up to 10% out of all the people that have COVID are dealing with what I'm dealing with, which is basically, it's these things called flare-ups. So it's like if you do too much, or too much mental stress, physical stress, exhaustion, fatigue, like it's basically feel like you have COVID all over again. And it just gets to a point where, that's what I'm dealing with right now. And I know a lot of people are questioning, like, how do you feel, what's going on, what's the new status? And that's basically what I'm still dealing with right now. Although I may look fine to you guys, I'm still dealing with that on a day-to-day basis. It's some days where I feel sick, with such as like nausea, I'm going back and forth to the bathroom, headache. I still deal with confusion almost every single day. I still deal with brain fog. I still deal with memory loss. I forget, certain things. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, because I know you guys, see certain things, but I'm so like, personal with me and my family and with my fiance. I'm so closed in. But I wanted to let you guys know, that, because that's very important. That's very important that you guys know. Too. Very informative. But like I said, it will be a documentary, little mini story coming out within like 2 weeks, which I dig deeper and I go into more detail about my personal life. Today is Thursday, January 7th. It's about 10:50 p.m. Having another flare up, basically, like, my head, confusion, stomach, all that type of stuff. It's like a throbbing pain in the back of, my head and in the front. Ever since I had COVID, this eye gets a little bit lazy or red. Try to do some of my breathing exercises, my rehab, to try to get some relief, but it's the day after I did my interview yesterday for COVID with HBO Real Sport, so very thankful for that opportunity. I know pretty much anytime I, do a lot mentally or physically, it's pretty much what I deal with, like these flare-ups. So the most I can do is take my medicine and just kind of let it pass, or do like my COVID rehab. That helps out some, but it's just, these flare-ups come from time to time, on and off a lot actually. But today's been really hard, really. I've struggled a lot, just with trying to feel well. Sometimes it feels like I have COVID all over again, but I know I don't. It's just, part of the process. But say all this to say, yeah, it's been a struggle. But sometimes, post-COVID acute syndrome can cause you to, not get much sleep. But I'm making it. I'm taking it day by day. One of the symptoms that I feel right now, like I said, are just like headache and just like, this pain through my eye right here. As I don't know if you could tell, but I can tell the difference from before COVID. I deal with, sweats and chills sometimes and confusion, brain fog. Today I had a lot of brain fog. I couldn't really have clear-cut sentences with people. That's just, a few of the symptoms. Sometimes you just feel like you got hit by a bus. That's pretty much how I'm feeling right now. Sometimes it gets hard to eat, like on days like this, because you don't have an appetite or your stomach just doesn't feel well. Stuff like that. But, you have shortness of breath. My physical therapist and doctor says pretty common in cases cases like mine. But all you can do is stay positive and hope for the best and lean on your loved ones. So I just wanted to let you guys know that it is a struggle. It's a struggle mentally and physically. But if you have somebody great by your side, and if you have a great family and support system, I'm very thankful for Jordan and Powerade and my team, New York, the whole coaching staff. They've all been great. So I say all this to say it's very important to have a great circle and support system, because those are the people that are going to help you get through it, especially on tough days. I just really wanted to stress to you guys, I wanted to update you guys, because the last time you guys heard, like, I was extremely sick with COVID, and that was back in the summer. But now that I don't have COVID, I think it's very important for you guys to know also that not a lot of people know about these things. It's called post-COVID acute syndrome. That's what it's called. So it's like she just said, it's up to 10% of the people, that deal with, with what I'm dealing with. So it can be very, very, very frustrating, because it's some days where, I feel like I'm getting so much better, and it's some days where I feel like I take 10 steps backwards. And it just all depends on what you do and stuff like that. But that's, pretty much it on what I had to say.
Yeah, that's all pretty much for as far as COVID, because it's for real. Like, we all for please wear your mask anywhere you go. Wear your freaking mask. Like, it's not even hard to do. Like, just wear it. Sanitize your hands. Like, Lysol when you come in and out. Wash your clothes consistently. It's really the regular stuff that we can do to help not spread it. Like, we've had it, especially, like I tell Asia all the time, I'm like, it's easy to say something just because it's the right thing to do, but you really mean it after you went through something and it was a bad experience, and you really like, okay, I had it. You really want to make sure that you wash your hands, or you really want to make sure that you're being safe or wearing a mask or whatever it is, instead of just saying, yeah, wear a mask because COVID. You gonna see COVID is real. You catch it, you ain't gonna be happy about it, because that shit does not feel good at all.
Guys.
Prevent from getting it. It can honestly mess up your body for an extensive amount of time, instead of just being sick and getting over it. Just because, say, if you caught COVID, that doesn't mean that if somebody catch it from you, they're just gonna be as simple sick as you. That can escalate up to them being extremely sick and being on a deathbed. Like, it doesn't matter. Just, be more cautious and be more aware, because we want to live as long as possible. We love our life. Like, we want to live, because that's, I would think that's what everybody would want to do. And if not, I mean, that's on you. But
yeah, guys, this COVID stuff is real, and it may be some people who be like, oh, I'll never get COVID. But like, you guys don't understand, it's not, COVID is an unpredictable virus that not even, most scientists or doctors know exactly, what is going on with this. Like, they have to do so much studying, and they have to do so much studies on this just to figure out, how to make people feel better. Because, like I just said, I'm still dealing with symptoms, and it's about 7 months out since I've tested positive. Like, I'm still dealing with COVID symptoms. That's how real it is.
But like, Asia is not sick with COVID.
I
just
don't have
because
COVID.
she has the symptoms, but it's not just like symptoms that you would have that you would be cautious about and want to go get tested for. It's not like that. It's like the long hauler symptoms. It's not, oh, I can get sick from her because it's not like that. It's like the aftermath of it after it's affected her for so long. And also she has the long haulers because of how long she actually was sick for. Asia was sick with COVID at least, it was almost 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we are not overly exaggerating. It was scary. Like, she thought she was gonna pass away. I thought she was gonna pass away. Like, we was scared. We was really scared. So, I'm not saying that somebody's gonna get it. God forbid anybody was to, get it just because I said it. But if you were to get it, like, please don't just be like, well, if you were to not have it, don't be like, oh, COVID ain't real. And then when you catch it, you like, oh, that shit real. Like, that's what we're trying to tell you now. It is real. It's literally, many people have died from it. You don't want to just not take something serious that people are dropping like flies from. It's crazy. Like, just take it serious, wear a mask, wash your hands, be cautious.